Alright, let's do this. Oh yeah. So, Scout and Nightfall. Okay, what do we have here? Humble Instructor. Pay 2, exhaust Humble Instructor to give one of your units with 2 or more battle skills +1/+1. Okay, not too shabby. Moon Dial, a relic. Nightfall. It's kinda decent, potentially. A 5/3 Overwhelm for 4. We have a relic, not terrible. But not great either. Like not a constructed card. So Talisman. So we get Talisman stuff apparently. So, or like I guess they might be like the same cycle, not sure. Once per turn you may pay 8 to deal 2 damage to an enemy. Okay. Another Yeti. So-so. Hey Hinjaku. Stampede Driver. An Explorer. You may discard a card to give one of your other units +1/+1 and Overwhelm. If it's a dinosaur, it gets +2/+2 and Overwhelm instead. That's like okay-ish, but not great. Another Grenadin. Actually, a decent Grenadin. For all the Grenadin synergies. The Grenadin tribal is real. 3/1 Gunslinger for 2. I guess we had that in red already, now we have it in purple as well. 1/1 for 1, gains 3 health, another Grenadin. Okay, so the first Shadow Grenadin. Actually kind of a good Grenadin for a more controlling sacrifice deck. Actually kind of nice, gaining 3 health on a 1/1. A 2/1 killer Nightfall dinosaur, that looks pretty bad, honestly. Summon, you may silence another unit. I mean, it's probably not constructed level, but it's okay. Good limited card, I think. And we got our first crest. Crest of Wisdom. Oh yeah, also I like the new pack opening animation. So what do we have here? Bellowing Thunderfoot, a dinosaur. When Bellowing Thunderfoot bond, Bellowing Thunderfoot stun an enemy unit. That's not bad. Like if you factor in like Dinosaur Pump from Evelina and stuff, Bond Dinosaurs might be among the more appealing Bond cards because you can get your cheap units pretty big to bond stuff out on the cheap. Not sure if this guy specifically is going to be good enough, but Bond on dinosaurs in general is appealing. Gun Rustler, 6 power 4/2. Yeah, that looks pretty bad. Put an enemy unit into the enemy player's hand. Ah, that's Lost in the Mist. Seen that one before. Flying Warcry Valkyrie Gunslinger. Your units wielding weapons are deadly. That's kind of decent, like a 2/3 Flying Warcry is already pretty decent in a relevant tribe. The deadliness can come in handy, especially with like quick draw and stuff. So yeah, might be a relevant card. Having more Valkyries, like a second Valkyrie 3-drop for example, or Valkyrie Spire Guard is definitely noteworthy, and this might be one that helps there. Into the Furnace, deal 2 damage to a unit. If you have a Grenadin in your void, Into the Furnace deals double damage. That's actually a pretty good card for like a grindier sacrifice style Grenadin deck, because 2 power deal 4 to a unit, pretty good. Anseer, we saw that before. Surveying Mantor Shore, that's kind of an interesting dinosaur. Flying Overwhelm Bond, another like weak Bond dinosaur. Town Watchman, 3/7 Warcry for 6, not a constructed card. Flying, you gain 2 armor. A 1/2 flying for 2 that gains you 2 armor, and is a Valkyrie is actually not that bad. Especially like if you assume you play this like turn 2, and turn 3 you play the ally Valkyrie weapon to give it give it 2 armor from this, so basically having a 3-5 weapon. Pretty nice, like this is kind of meant to be paired with this weapon and might actually be a good combination. Also another Valkyrie for Spire Guard stuff, so Valkyrie is becoming more and more interesting. Ironclad O's, give one of your units +4/+4 this turn. You gain 1 armor for each of your Valkyrie. Not sure if that's going to be good enough, seems kind of clunky and situational. A 1/3 Explorer for 4, when you draw a card, cut brush, Cartographer gets +1 attack. Not so fancy. And a new weapon, Hot Bearer Revolver. 5 cost weapons are kind of so-so. 3 damage to a random enemy, random effects are always like meh. If played on a gunslinger, you can choose the enemy. Okay, that might make the card barely good enough in a gunslinger type deck. Alright, I think I'll just open the packs now a bit faster, because otherwise it's gonna take ages and also gonna be the longest video ever. And we just look through the collection and check out the entire set once it's time. Alright, let's do this. Another keyword, ally. And we got our first legendary. Vicious Highwayman. Nice. And let's go. Alright. Iceberg Mason, another Yeti. Sweet. Move each Yeti in your deck 1 card closer to the top. That's like such a weird Yeti. But I mean, it's a 2-cost, 2/3 Yeti that has a minor upside in a way. Makes it likelier to draw more Yetis. It's kind of an interesting and cool new sort of effect that is possible due to the digital space. Okay, so another rare, Steering Sand. Playing a sentinel from your void for each of your explorers, you may pay 2 and exhausted to play another sentinel. That's potentially nice. Getting all your like stuff back, especially since this can get back a Heart of the Vault for some good value and 1 card cheaper. And you can do that like turn 6 Heart of the Vault, turn 7 this, and pay 2 for an explorer getting back like a Titan. And the Heart of the Vault seems pretty powerful. Might be good enough, we'll see. In some number. Another Gunslinger. 3/4 Warcry, not bad. And an ultimate. Not bad. Alright, so Sure Shot. Sure Shot has +3/+3 for each weapon she's wielding. Sure Shot has Overwhelm while she has 18 or more. Okay. Ask for directions, know that one already. Another Iceberg Mason and a foil. Alright. Shieldsmith. 0/5 lifesteal. When you lose armor, Shieldsmith gains that much attack. Okay. Might actually be like an interesting card in like an armory style deck, with the weapons losing stuff and lifesteal and high health defensive units being a good thing for a more reactive, grindy, mid-rangey or control deck. Like an interesting alternative to Maiden. Okay. A burn spell that just goes to the face and stops Knight. Like stops Rindra's lifesteal and stuff. Mirror's Nightshade. Pretty nice card. There we go. Rakano Sheriff, Gunslinger, and a Minotaur. +2/+2 for each of your other units wielding a weapon. Pay 4 to play a +1/+1 weapon on one of your other units. Not bad. Boom. Crest of Vengeance. Boom. Ashara, we know that from the spoilers already. Another Shieldsmith. Agile Desmore. Accelerated Impact. The units get +1/+1 and deal their health in battle damage instead of their attack this turn. Okay, weird. And a nice foil. And leader most skilled. 5 cost 4/5 Overwhelm. Unseen ally killer. That's actually pretty nice. Like, this is a pretty good card potentially. In like some unseen themed deck. Like, imagine this in like a Felon unseen deck, for example. A 5 cost 4/5 killer with Overwhelm is almost as good as Carnosaur. I mean, it kills less relevant stuff, but still. Another Grenadin. Your other Grenadin have +1 attack. Oh, that's nice. Put a Firebomb into the enemy deck. I guess that's random bonus, but yeah, pretty sweet card. The Grenadin tribal is real. Another crest. Failed Reflection. Once per turn you may sacrifice another unit to give Failed Reflection +4/+4. Okay, more sacrifice support. And Tinker Drone Dropper. 4 cost 3/4. Flying. Drone Dropper hits the enemy player 1/1 Grenadin. Nice. Decent card. Kind of like a, in a way, a worse Memory Dredger. Scrap Heap. Your Grenadin have charge. Once per turn you may pay 5 to play a 1/1 Grenadin. Not sure how good that's gonna be. Another Death Draw. Another Accelerated Impact. Let's say it's time to see another legendary. Ruby Catalyst. Once per turn you may pay 2 to exhaust an enemy unit. After the third use, sacrifice Ruby Catalyst to play a 5/4 Sentinel. That's kind of interesting. Bisma, aka Abysmal Revered Elder, because that's roughly how bad he is, I would say. Another Shieldsmith. Almost have a playset of that guy. Another Failed Reflection. Pew! Our first Inquisitor's Halberd, the card that I was talking about earlier. Another Rakano Sheriff and a foil. Scrap Heap. Number 2. First Devastating Setback, we know that one from the spoilers already. Another Accelerated Impact. Another Iceberg Mason. Another Halberd and another foil. And another Sure Shot. Another Shieldsmith, that's our playset. Let's hope we don't get more Shieldsmiths. Third Scrap Heap. Third or fourth already. Another Crest. Another Reflection, the third one. Another Crest. Twilight Hunt. Nightfall. Give one of your units killer. If it's a dinosaur, it gets +1/+1. That's pretty sexy. That's like insane in the dinosaurs deck. Basically getting like a 1-cost Xenon Initiation. That also has Nightfall. If Nightfall is like good enough in that deck, it's like amazing. This is incredibly nice. Dinosaurs look like they might become pretty real. Our first Combustion Cell. Another Street Leader. Boom! Another Tinker Drone Dropper. Another Steering Sand. That's the third or fourth scrap heap. Time to stop getting scrap heaps. Curfew enforcement. Interesting. Nice artwork and flavor thing. Enemy units get -1 attack. For each of your Valkyrie you may pay 2 and exhausted to give enemy units an additional -1. That's potentially powerful and very crippling. Like, you can easily play this for 4 and cripple your opponent pretty heavily. And yeah, 1 legendary in 50 packs is running. God awful time to get some legendaries. Still no legendary. Eileen's Frost Rider. 6 cost 4 for flying. Stun to enemy units. That is potentially powerful and a monster in draft. Powder Glider, another Yeti 1-drop, that might be good. Stun an enemy unit with flying. When you play a spell, Powder Glider gets +1/+1 this turn. That might be good enough for Constructed, especially given that Womp turns it into a 2/3, which is so much better than a 2/2 that it might be just good enough. The summon ability is pretty weird. Like, turn 1 it won't do a whole lot, and later it's very, very speculative, so not sure. But yeah, I'm definitely excited about looking into Yetis once we're done here. Deadly Confrontation. Kill an enemy unit for 4, triple shadow. For each of your unseen you may pay 2 and exhausted to kill an additional enemy unit. So a sorcery Death Strike with a steeper requirement and a sexy upside. That card is powerful. Felon Unseen deck is real, boys. Topple Tower. Like, where are our legendaries? Like, really? Zerasaur Bull. Dinosaur Ally. Charge. When Zerasaur Bull attacks, kill an enemy attachment. Not sure. 7 is a lot. Leader Most Skilled, number 2. Sandspitter. Second legendary, and it's Talia Unbound, a pretty bad one, unfortunately. Okay. So 2 legendaries in 60 packs. We are running hot as hell. Okay, there's another one. That's a good legendary. Now we're talking. Rindra. Let's do this. Is it like 1 legendary every 10 packs roughly, normally? Is that the rate? Another Sandspitter, because then we are still like 3 legendaries behind. Valkyrie Justica, a 3-cost Valkyrie, 1/1 flying. Choose a card with cost 4 or more in the enemy hand. They can't play that play cards with that name while you have Valkyrie Justicia. Well, it's a 1/1. So, I mean, they will get rid of it. Silence won't work, but yeah, they just kill it. Not impressed. Seems highly unreliable and super fragile and low impact. Another Powder Glider. Really not opening that great, unfortunately. Another Abysmal. The Revered Shit. Third Powder Glider. Come on, like, where are the good cards? I want more Nightshades and like Deathwheel Agents. We have 0 Deathwheel Agents. First Yeti Sage. Another Sandspitter. Another Valkyrie Justicia. Stone Scar Sneak, Quick Draw. Gunslinger. Pay 3 and exhaust Stone Scar Sneak to give another unit +3 attack and Quick Draw this turn. That is actually potentially a nice 1-drop. Also, Quick Draw makes it a good weapon carrier. I like this card. Third Halberd. Our first Gear Master, not that we wanted one. Our first Mysterium Orb, that's better. Another crest, that's like the third Talon crest at least, I think. Our third Abysmal. Our first Zelia the Vayne, that's really nice, because that's a really good card. Our second Yeti Sage. Devastating Setback number 2. Another legendary, that's the fourth legendary in 80 packs. Summon Nightfall, 2/2 dinosaur. When you play another dinosaur at night, it gets Darklaw Ravager's attack. That's potentially decent, if it survives this long. We'll see. More dinosaurs. I feel definitely underprepared in terms of value for this set. Shieldsmith foil. So that's our 5th Shieldsmith at least. Another Street Leecher, that's like the 3rd I think. Another Ask for Directions, number 2. Another Purge the Darkness, the 2nd one. That's like the 3rd or 4th Halberd. Malediction Reader. It's a 5/5 Radiant for 6 flying. When you play a curse, deal 2 damage to the enemy player and you gain 2 health. Mediocre. Regression, pretty bad rare. Our first Darkveil agent, finally. Another Malediction Reader. Lynn's Frost Rider. Warrior Serpent. And our 5th Shieldsmith. We really like Shieldsmith, it seems. Okay, I think I'll just buy 9 more packs, cause screw it. Not like I care about draft here. There we go. Screw this. We are still not running too hot on legendaries. It does. We'll check out the cards in a moment. Oh, a legendary. Last Light Druid. Not the legendary I wanted, but the legendary I got, I guess. Another Gear Master. Dig Site. When you play a Sentinel, your explorers get +1/+1 this turn. You may put a unit or another relic into its own ascent. That's actually nice. That's pretty nice, like it kind of makes up for the lost tempo and then has some appeal down the road. This card is potentially playable. Like it's not great or anything, but it's like a well-rounded card in the sense that it is worth considering. It's not like clearly bad. Another Sarasaur Bull. Another Nightshade. And another Failed Reflection, a foil one. Okay then.